the story of an African Spider-Man is very inspiring. Yes, I agree with that, Jeff. You know, in the Oromo culture, we have this wonderful and amazing culture thing we call Discipleship, adoption. It's way before, biblical stories, if you would. And so in that culture, when someone would go of living the rules and fit the community very well, he or she would be adopted as a part of, literally he or she become an Oromo. So we have an adopted brother, our good son of OELMS. Jeff, every time we have a presentation, he's right there, picture from the very beginning to these days. He walked and worked with us and shows us love and compassion. For the who would not be here as Mission Society if we were not with brothers and sisters along the way we met, like Jeff. So it is with great pleasure that I present to you, Jeff. And please welcome to the honors.
So for those of you who are wondering, this is how you spell Jeff in Oromo. I was hoping it would be more exotic, but it just sort of looks like Jeff without the second half, I think. Guillermo and I chatted a little bit, and I think the title changed several times. And so how to build a functioning society. You're Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society. And part of the reason I'm speaking to you is because I work with a lot of immigrants through the Ethnic Immigrant Institute of Theology, and I have visited many of the graduates during their vicarages over the time. I also visit the CMC program, future student over there, and seen what they have done. And many of them have societies in attempting to do mission work, doing mission work rather successfully, actually, many of them, and building that up and working towards that. But I've also had some work with some struggles in what didn't go well, what was hard, what was difficult to understand. And so that's kind of what this is about, to talk about what makes a good society effective in being in what it is and doing what it is. But to get started, I would just like you to, I like participation, so just turn at your tables, and if you have people, and just say, what does it mean to be a functioning society, or identify one or two challenges that are facing you or your organization today in that you're trying to overcome, answers you're looking for as far as moving forward, and just to kind of get thinking about what we're going to talk about today. So just 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, just turn and try to identify something that's an obstacle to your society or your organization, or what's the goal of a functioning society. Go. Okay, kind of wrap it up. Just finish your thought. Okay, what did we discover? Does anybody want to share? What were some of the obstacles? What was a functioning society? What was just something to get us started? Anybody?
We say like fruit-bearing society. That's fruit-bearing.
How to have a fruit-bearing society, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it has a clear, compelling vision.
Clear, compelling vision. Guess what? That's the first thing I might think over here. Clearly, vision, purpose, anything else? Okay. I just want to get you to think about what we're trying to accomplish today, and really, it does have a lot to do with clarity of mission and purpose. One of the most frustrating things, I'm not really frustrated with it, but one of the most difficult things, I think, for those of us who are missionaries, and some of my background is I was a missionary overseas for 8 years working in Russian culture. We got 17 churches planted. We have about 6 major humanitarian aid, social ministry type projects that went, probably spent around $300,000 making it all happen. One of the most frustrating parts of that, though, is the lack of clarity, especially if you are working in a different language. And so it's hard enough working to write grants or proposals in English to English speakers, but if you were thinking Oromo or you were thinking Ethiopian and you were trying to put that into Western culture, there are a lot of challenges that come with clarity in making that happen. Especially if, for example, if you're in an oral culture trying to communicate to a literal culture. Okay? And so realizing the challenges and clarity of mission and purpose is really good. Now, I happen to say quite often that the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society has one of the best mission organizations that I've had the opportunity and honor to work with. Okay? So if you take a look at what the primary focus is, that is right in that document. The document you showed me, did everybody see that? Yeah? The one, the President's report and all those statistics? Okay, he hasn't shared it yet, but it's in all the ones prior to this. But you'll recognize this. It says the primary focus of the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society, OELMS, is to establish ministry groups and communities where immigrant populations are growing rapidly, with special emphasis on the Oromo diaspora in the United States and connecting them with local congregations of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, alongside efforts to reach and establish missions among the 40 million Oromo worldwide. This is extremely helpful when we're introducing it to others, especially this sentence, to establish ministry groups in communities where immigrant populations are growing rapidly, with special emphasis in the Oromo diaspora. Okay. That narrowly defines what the OELMS is about. It focuses on it, but there are other groups from Ethiopia. There's the Amharic speaking, and there are just other groups in different countries in Africa and different things. But the OELMS is very much about Oromo speaking first and second generation and who they are helping and working with in America, but also worldwide. But it also has a further goal that highlights it. It connects, it's a way, sort of the methodology. It connects them with local congregations of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, alongside efforts to reach and establish missions in the 40 million. But it's very specific who they are targeting and how they are going about doing it. And when I am explaining it, I think when we had the first meeting here initially, we brought this up, but in many of the congregations, the conversations that I have where everyone asks me to come alongside and kind of help explain what's going on, this mission statement is really good. I did come up with a question on it just today, looking at it, and how maybe you'll bring it up to how to refine it a little better. But it really does explain, because it gives clear understanding of what is happening in the OELMS. Okay, so an organization really needs a clear mission statement as to there, others outside the organization, or who have never heard of them, and trust me, many have not heard of the Oromo. You know, even though you're the largest tribe in Africa, it's surprising, right? So, but for the outsider to understand, or if they're coming across it on the internet, where you see your page, or it's on the church's website, and they're having a link to it, it has to be clear enough that the outsider can kind of get an understanding of who you are, and what you're about, and where you're going, and why I should be interested in it. Okay? And so it's a very helpful document in helping promote what we were trying to do, or what we are trying to do in the Oromo Evangelical Movement. Another reason for having a very clear mission purpose is because it really does help you when you're making decisions about financial spending and organizational decisions. If a major opportunity comes up, you can evaluate it and say, does this really match what we are trying to do? For example, I work with an African diaspora group that is really about economic empowerment, it's about economic literacy, it's about employment, it's about training and a variety of things. It's really about helping people up and becoming better assimilated into the culture so they can get jobs economically. An opportunity came up to start a health clinic. Well, a health clinic is very good, but it's entirely different from what the purpose of the organization was. And so in the discussion is, should we do this because there's money attached to it, but it really changes the nature of the organization if you don't have clarity of what you're trying to do. Because there are times that there are good opportunities that you should say no to, because it doesn't match what the organization is about. And the most successful organizations tend to stay with what they're trying to do and focus and make decisions along that line. So a good, for clarity of mission purpose, and that document that kind of controls that, a good one will enable your leadership to say no. If you have a mission statement or you have a purpose statement that doesn't enable you to say no, it's really not that good, because actually almost anything can fit underneath it. And it'll prevent mission drift. Mission drift is accepting projects that detract from and or shift away the organizational focus from its stated goals. Okay, and so I've attended every conference so far for at least one day of this group, and every year I think your mission and your purpose statement gets better and more well defined each year. And I want to commend you on that to see the value of it. It's also important when you get down to the congregational level, not only what the national organization is doing, but what you are doing at a congregational level, and how you're going about it. So what you're seeing happening and modeled for you in the mother organization can also help with the congregational level. And so, let's see. Some of the negative things that I've seen over time, because I'll just show you once, is I work with other ethnic groups that are actually doing quite well, but they have almost everything is just spoken in reports. There's nothing written down, or it's not written down in English that I can share or remember. And for myself as a native English speaker, listening to an Oromo speaker speak English, as I am sure some of the Oromo speakers are struggling a little bit to understand me, it's a little harder to take notes when you're doing it cross-culturally and respond to that. And so, without a purpose statement or a vision statement or a lot of documentation written down, it's much harder for the organization to move forward. So if you want a good functioning society, having clarity in the overall documents and the reports is really important, so that someone who likes what you're doing can take it and share it with others. Or they can refer it to others for other people to help. And I think I already covered something that's sort of general, if anything can fit in there, and difficulty to understand. So, when I was contemplating the OELMS and our situation, I think it's really important, and one of the key stakeholders, one of the important groups that everybody in the room works with or under is the districts, the LCMS districts for which you are connected. We actually go nicely back just at the right time. He represents the district, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. Because I chose Missouri as an example, but every district in the LCMS will be very similar. And so if you take a look, and this will help you understand the district and what they do. So if you take a look at the Missouri district's mission statement, it's the Missouri district LCMS is to serve and encourage congregations to fulfill the Great Commission and promote unity of true faith. Okay, and the vision statement is the vision of the Missouri district of the LCMS is congregations partnering as one church, united in doctrine, ready to equipped and acting to fulfill the Great Commission in a unique setting with the unique gifts. Now notice it said congregations, and I've highlighted that. What's there is the Missouri Senate, the Missouri district of the LCMS focuses on LCMS congregations. Now, the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society is not an LCMS congregation. Okay. Neither are any of the other districts. So, notice there's words in there that aren't there but have meaning in there, as you see where it goes. But also notice twice it talks about promote unity of the true faith, or united in the doctrine. So if you're looking at districts that are very concerned about doctrine, united in doctrine, and helping congregations. But they're also very interested in working with the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society. And the way they do that is with their critical targets. Okay? And so again, as you look at an organization, you kind of look at their documentation, you can find out how the pieces fit together. So the Missouri district is together in the Word, that is studying the Word. They are for healthy servants, professional church workers, peaceful ministries, but they want mission-focused congregations. And so congregation schools and other ministries are inspired and equipped for bringing Christ to their communities. And it's the word communities is where you find interlocking an opportunity for the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society to work through a local congregation connected to the district. This is true of every district, of all the congregations, of every place that you're from. This is how it works. Okay? So that tells you when if we want to be successful as a functioning society, the role of the local congregation is really important. Because it actually is the gateway for connecting to the district, and probably the Senate, I could ask them. But everybody works through the local congregations. And so as you think about where to put resources, where to put priorities to spend time, understanding that relationship is really critical. There's another one, recognized service organizations, and Link is here for that. And they are similar to congregations, and they can work in the same way. And RSO is a non-for-profit that is independent of the Lutheran Church, Missouri Senate, whose operations foster the ministry and mission of the church, whose programs, activities are in harmony with the Senate, and who agrees to respect and not act contrary to the doctrine and practice of the Senate. Such organizations meet this criteria and have been granted RSO status. And there's a list of them on the website. And it basically means they're able to call ordaining commissioned ministers on the roster, use the logo, and up to the laws. So there's congregations and there are RSOs. So in our context, the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society must work through local congregations or RSOs in order to achieve its own goals. Okay. So if you're trying to get onto an LCMS congregation, which is our stated goals, you see the connection between those two and how it fits into what we're doing. And so when you're looking for assistance, if you're looking for training or everything, it comes through the local church. That's why each partner church is a critical relationship to the success of the OELMS. Okay? And I'd say the relationship between the local pastor, the one for the local congregation, critical. Having ongoing conversations, because again, we're doing this cross-culturally. We're dealing with all the cultural issues that are coming through, and misunderstandings and understandings, and it just takes time to deal with that. We have some examples here in a second. Also, notice that the LCMS culture particularly emphasizes unity in doctrine. And so challenges in cross-cultural communication, particularly in worship, in practice and evangelism, is important to talk about because there are often differences. I learned overseas that conferences like this are much more important to immigrants or to the Oromo or to the Russians or something than they were to Westerners in America. They're much more, and the more you support organizations like events like this, it has a deeper impact than other things that we do. There's always this cross-cultural thing that go. But, but cross-cultural communication, especially unity in doctrine, is important. Several times I get phone calls about, are they really Lutheran? Question. You know, they don't look Lutheran, or they're, you know, what is going on here? It's just not the Oromo, it's the other groups too. And so, because they're worshiping in a different language, they have different ways that they are moving and praying and those types of things. And it looks very charismatic and Pentecostal to a Western. But yet, we have to be able to have that trust, those conversations, is what is going on, and where are we going, and this is where we are today, where we're headed. And it's just a lot of conversations that go on between the local pastor and the local Oromo pastor or leader, and figuring that out and then helping explain that to the people around you. Okay, so it's an ongoing practice. I also think, as I've worked with these groups, the LCMS culture values good stewardship, financial accountability, and self-sufficiency. And so financial reports and transparency is always the key. It's critical for American culture. For the Americans in the room, they might find this a little amusing, but I have a book here called African Friends and Money Matters. Money Matters. And if you've never heard or read any of these things, it just shows you how different it can be. I didn't ask you about this kind of advancement. Money is spent before a friend or relative asks to borrow it. Seems to be a cultural value. Let's see, where is it? So let's see. So being financially involved, so this is from the African perspective, being involved financially and materially with friends and family, friends and relatives is a very important element of social interaction. You know, borrowing money and those types of things is valued in the African culture. Whereas Westerns, this trust friendship that regularly include financial and material exchanges. Okay. Those two are totally different from each other. Africans readily share space and things, but are possessive of knowledge. Westerners readily share their knowledge, but are possessive of things and space. Okay? We have these same things in Russia. Precision in budgeting and accounting. Precision in Africans. Now, this is not true of everybody, so we disagree. I'm not trying to stereotype. But these things come up. Precision is to be avoided in accounting as it shows a lack of generous spirit. Okay? Where the Westerners would say precision is essential in accounting. Laxity, leniency, and permissiveness and flexibility will, in the long run, be perilous for the individual and society at large. Okay, so you see how cultural values that people grow with are in total conflict. Compliments are, get this one. Compliments are frequently given indirectly in the forms of requests for gifts or loans, and are often formulated as questions. Can I have this or that type of thing? Westerners are not accustomed to compliments with being formulated as requested, and just misinterpret them and take offense. Okay? Now, this is just a few from this book, and it just deals with money. There are volumes in different values, different ways of perceiving things. One of the big things that I find is in decision making. Oftentimes, I will have some friends from Africa who are in leadership positions feel that the best way to make a decision is to talk to the most important person in the other group, come to an agreement, and then he will take responsibility in making it happen. Okay. Or recently I was at a meeting where the African Council came together with a request, brought it to the group, and they discussed it, made their case, and they thought the decision was made. But in the Western side, since there was no voters meeting with an actual vote enablement for it, nothing had happened. So next week there were some misunderstandings and all of those things. So decision making. My point is, it's critical when you're having cross-cultural communication that you constantly are talking about these things and working them through, especially in the area of finances, in the area of moving ahead and those types of things. So using funds for the purpose they were given is important. There's an African value that says once you give it, it's up to me to decide how to use it. And these are not wrong. These are different ways of operating in different countries. And it's not a trust issue. It's just simply how to deal with it cross-culturally. And so these are some pastors that spend without profit or organization. I'll spend this to report over the documentation and societies. If you have a 501c3, you're actually in your IRS rules. But I want to get to this. So one of the most important things for both the president of the Oromo Evangelical Lutheran Mission Society and leaders of the various congregations is that you are a cultural translator, as is the pastor you're working with. You need to not only understand your own culture, but almost like a missionary, you need to understand the Western culture. And work hard at figuring out why these things are happening that I don't understand. Ask questions in a trusted relationship and come to an understanding to better figure out, what's going on. Time is another one. I think Oromo generally seems to be more on time than like the Hispanics, but being late is sometimes considered offensive in some circles. And so having those understandings, so you function as translators between cultures. Building bridges is an important role for the cross-cultural leader. So helping to have that understanding. Remember that this bridge is a two-way street. This isn't all about one culture assimilating or becoming more like the Western culture, or in the Western culture not doing anything with the Oromo. When you come together and you start working well together, and you learn from one another, both sides contribute and both sides will change. It is actually a two-way street. Each group cannot become the other, and you can't erase the cultural differences. But when you communicate in a good, functional society, both sides are built up and edified. They both grow into the insights that come from each side, and it's a very positive, revitalizing type experience, both spiritually and working together. And also the food's usually quite good. Over time, new patterns will develop, and hopefully be made up from elements of both sides. And the faithful function, and one of the jobs of the Oromo leader is to figure out how the faithful function faithfully in the larger, more dominant culture in a way that you don't lose your own culture. Yeah, there are things that will change. I used to be Norwegian. I'm still Norwegian, but my great-grandparents used to speak Norwegian at home, celebrate 7 Mai, and all of those. It will change over time. But nevertheless, we need to kind of figure that out. And the goal is bicultural community, not assimilation. And so, one of the things I think is important in this, and I'm thinking about it not too far away, is that you need to have planned discussions for when you're going to review this. And so the Oromo goals and purpose statements are really good. So sit down together once a year, maybe every 6 months, and say, how are we doing? Are we closer to being rostered as a congregation? Is the quality of the Lutheran understanding within the immigrant congregation being increased? What's preventing it? Are there things that are not happening from the partner congregation that the Oromo need or that just aren't working out? But at regular times of discussion on how the progress is going, and you can use the documentation that describes what you're trying to do as a guide for those conversations. These are some of the questions. Are we becoming closer to being a rostered LCMS congregation? And that's what I talked to Guillermo about. That's not specifically mentioned anywhere in the documentation, but it's agreed upon. So that might be one way of clearing it. What are the obstacles? How can the partner congregation assist? How is the relationship between the two congregations going? Are they totally two separate congregations? Or are intentional steps being made to try to encourage relationships? I don't think we should force it, but some of the best practices that I see are, for example, using food or using joint worship service every once in a while, maybe every 6 months or every 3 months. Just some way to keep people constantly connecting with one another. And so there's that contact that they can learn from one another. The more familiarity there is, the more opportunity for friendships and growth that can happen on both sides. How can the Oromo congregation assist the LCMS congregation along that way? You know, often they're not asked for help, but asking and working together, which I think the last speaker mentioned is a good thing. And then how unity and doctrine, you know, what's the calling, how that's going in the congregation. And so setting goals and having this, revisiting this a long time is really a good part of it. And so, finally, documentation is good, but relationships are the key. One of the most powerful things I think that has pushed OELMS along is the fact that your leadership comes to name, which is the North American Mission Executive, Demolition, and Guillermo are often at best practices. They're seen at various places, and people get to know them. And as they get to know them, as they share what OELMS is about, as they have this documentation behind them, a credibility is built, and it really does help the organization. So I think those things, while not a lot comes out from it, I don't think names have given any money to you yet. But from that, you find relationships that actually strengthen and open doors. Especially if you find a new Oromo group that's looking to connect with someone else. Face-to-face meetings are critical in starting relationships. They help build trust, especially cross-culturally. If I get a confusing document from a mission society and I don't understand it, but then later on I meet the leader of that mission society or an officer, and he can explain it to me, I will trust that document much more than if I just read it and figure it out. So face-to-face meetings, especially cross-culturally, are very critical. And finally, the executive director or the leader, the president, is really the primary holder of the vision. But every local pastor or local leader is also a holder of that vision. You need to be able to explain it well, especially in this partnership, and when you're sharing with other people what's going on. It's just critical. And you're the holder of the vision in the sense that you also prevent mission drift. You're able to say no, and all of these other things because you know what your mission is about. So I guess we're not doing questions, except that was a picture of the Oromo